We are going to begin with breaking developments in the Israeli airstrike that killed 7 members of an international aid organization working inside Gaza, a Canadian among those killed. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is just this hour acknowledging that Israel conducted the strike, but says it was, quote, unintended. World Central Kitchen says several international workers, including one who held dual U.S.-Canadian citizenship, were killed. And now the charity says it will immediately pause its operations in the region. This is new video into us this morning from Reuters news agency. Paramedics transporting the bodies of several foreign nationals and at least one Palestinian to a hospital in central Gaza first and then on to a morgue. Video from the scene showed some of the aid workers were wearing bulletproof vests. The charity says they'd been traveling in a conflict-free zone in 2 armored cars marked with the charity's logo, and they'd coordinated their movements with the Israeli military before the airstrike hit the convoy. The Israeli military said this morning that an independent, professional, expert body would investigate the attack. Israel did not provide specifics. Anna Cunningham is in London tracking the details, and as I mentioned, there are breaking details. Anna, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just commented. He has acknowledged the airstrike. What more has he said?
Yes, this detail just coming into us, being reported by the Reuters news agency. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying this. He said, "This happens in wartime. We are thoroughly looking into it. We are in contact with the governments, those of the foreigners among the dead, and will do everything to ensure it does not happen again." So that's the first reaction we have had directly from the Israeli Prime Minister about what happened overnight. Because, of course, Heather, the initial response came directly from World Central Kitchen. They were the ones who issued a statement overnight saying that they were devastated to confirm 7 members of their team had been killed in an IDF strike in Gaza. Now, so far, Heather, the only person to have been formally named is an Australian worker. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has said she was Lazami Zomi Francoma, a 43-year-old from Melbourne, and he has said he expects full accountability. The image we've been seeing of her was actually released by the charity just last week, and it shows her inside a food tent in Gaza. Her family have said she was a kind, selfless and outstanding human being who travelled the world helping others in their time of need. Now, the World Central Kitchen is, of course, just one of a few charities that have been operating in Gaza. They've been providing 2 million meals a week at a time when the UN warns that people there are on the brink of a man-made famine. We understand that they had been helping deliver over 100 tons of aid to a warehouse in Dar el-Bella in central Gaza, and they were actually heading back to their base in Rafah when their vehicles were hit. The Israeli military spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, has spoken this morning expressing his sincere sorrow, but he stopped short of accepting responsibility for the attack. Let's take a listen.
We have been reviewing the incident in the highest levels to understand the circumstances of what happened and how it happened. We will be opening a probe to examine this serious incident further. This will help us reduce the risk of such an event from occurring again.
Now, the World Central Kitchen, their CEO, has been very clear, describing this as an unforgivable attack.
Anna, we're watching for reaction from the countries where the foreign workers were killed. It's interesting. We're just getting some reaction from the man who heads the World Central Kitchen. That's the chef, José Andrés, just releasing a statement on social media, Anna, that I'll share with you and with those watching, expressing how he is heartbroken and grieving for the families and friends and for the whole WCK family. He calls the people who were killed people angels, how he's worked alongside them in a number of countries. They are not faceless. They are not nameless. homeless. And then he goes into a very strong criticism of what is happening in Gaza. The Israeli government needs to stop this indiscriminate killing. It needs to stop restricting humanitarian aid, stop killing civilians and aid workers, and stop using food as a weapon. No more innocent lives lost. Peace starts with our shared humanity. It needs to start now. So that has just come in, Anna, from someone obviously mourning the loss of 7 of his workers in this attack. What are we hearing from various country leaders and various government officials in terms of reaction?
Well, Heather, those strong words and criticism are being echoed elsewhere. We've heard from the British Foreign Secretary, Lord Cameron. He's issued a statement saying that these were people who were delivering aid, life-saving aid to those who desperately needed it, and that essential humanitarian workers are to be protected, he said. And he emphasised that the British government had called on Israel to immediately investigate and provide a full, transparent explanation. Also, Heather, elsewhere, Matthew Hollingworth, the World Food Programme Country Director for Palestine, he's actually been in Gaza just last week and he knew those who died. He spoke to the BBC earlier.
I mean, there's going to have to be a full, very high-level scale investigation by the IDF on what happened, what went wrong. And they're going to have to, dissect exactly what they were told and why it wasn't successful in keeping these humanitarians safe, in keeping these humanitarians from being targeted. Something has to significantly change.
Also, Heather, reaction in from the EU's foreign policy chief, José, urging an investigation. And he has said it shows that the UN Security Council's resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire must be implemented. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak also as well giving his view, saying that it's the British government's long-standing view that Israel has both the intention and the ability to comply with international humanitarian law, something he says he's made very clear to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Heather.
Anna Cunningham, thank you very much.